This dentist has 1.5 million followers on Instagram. And today we're going to use some special tools to see where exactly that growth came from. By the end of this video, you'll be able to extract some lessons that you'll be able to use to grow your own dental Instagram profile. If you guys don't know me yet, I'm Enzo. I'm the founder of Prism, and Prism helps dentists increase the ARR of their businesses by helping them build a powerful online brand that increases revenue. And of course, part of that whole online brand is Instagram. And you guys might be kind of familiar with myself with Prism for getting these insane results on Instagram, like over 10 million% growth in a single month, all organic, no ads. But obviously, Dr. Mohammed here is on a totally different level. So I'm excited to take a look at this profile here and share some lessons with you guys. The pictures above the fold that he has, the posts above the fold, they're all super, super high quality. And it kind of elicits like this luxury brand kind of feel. You can see that he's relying super heavily on a ton of colors like black and white. In design, those are typically used to for higher quality, like luxury kind of elite brands. Look at his pictures here. It's a very big emphasis on that. There's a lot of black, used in his pictures. That's the first bucket that we'll talk about in this video, but there's actually three major buckets here. Like number two is kind of like the thing called the content quality stack, which we'll get into. And the third one is just, we'll dig into, again, those analytics to see how he made this huge jump. Yeah, just like when we dig into the analytics, we'll see there's a huge spike in his profile where he started growing a ton. And so we'll kind of be able to see where all that growth came from. Like I said, those first two buckets did contribute a lot to the growth. And so, like I said, it's positioned as a luxury brand. All these pictures, like, they're expensive to shoot, right? Like, as dentists, we know this, that like getting really high quality before and after pictures like this is really expensive. Just it positions him in a place where it's like this quality that you wouldn't see in another dentist Instagram profile. So that instantly helps him stick out and positions him as like more luxury than some other dentists, right? If you're just looking online. Some other things that he does to help accent that, like, also it's mostly before and after pictures with real patients, but to accent that, he'll have, these kind of videos from events that he goes to. Of course, these are very luxury, like high class events. And so it elicits, again, that feeling. It wraps his brand and his profile in that kind of like luxury high-end feel without focusing directly on dental there. So kind of maybe, appealing to a little bit of a different audience, but hitting these different parts of the brain of the person who's looking, at this profile. One thing I want to do to kind of contrast that is show you Dr. Patrick's profile. So he's verified, he has a solid following and everything like that, but the brand that he's built up here, you can see it's much different. It's not like so much of a luxury feel. It's much more focused on like a raw, like real kind of feel. Like, it looks like he made all this content himself, right? Versus the other one, it looks like it's like a professional kind of team putting this all together, professional pictures, videos, professional editing. And here it's like he's really done it a lot himself. And there's this kind of like this vibe of, using the front facing camera on the iPhone. Like, it's very personal. And he seems much more down to earth. So again, like, those are two different, the brands are positioned completely differently on both of these two businesses. And because of that, the way that they're positioned online, online, we can access the world. It's a global marketplace. You can access everybody online. And so the slice of the market that he's going to piece out are people that are interested in like connecting with like kind of like a more personal, like dentist might spend more time, get to know them really well. It doesn't have a lot of patience versus somebody like Dr. Mohammed. He's like a celebrity, right? Like, he's like a celebrity. He's going to probably charge a lot of money for all of his different services. Everybody knows who he is. And because of that, a lot of people want to work with him. And so you're not going to be like his only patient, right? So it's just like, I don't know, these different things, these are the things you're thinking about, the patient's thinking about while they're looking through and comparing, these two different profiles, for example. And that's all in the way that they've done this brand. Now, the second thing, it's like kind of dovetails into this, is like the content stack, the quality of the content stack. So there's three different components to this. There's the baseline material, the editing level, and then the real kind of like content, the theme, the focus is like the top kind of level. And so when you look at Dr. Mohammed, he has like professional businesses and teams in each one of these layers. So the first one is the baseline material. So that's like actually doing the photography or the videography at these events with really, really like, expensive, high quality camera equipment to be able to get these kind of really good raw materials to work with, that then a professional editing business or a professional editing team can go in and apply all these beautiful edits to the pictures. It's just a consistent like branding, watermarks, consistent kind of style here, with the text in the middle. You can see there, but then it's also like it's some insane on videos. Like this one. This is the one I wanted to show you. Like this one, yeah, he has a lot of videos like this. But you can see it's very, very like above and beyond editing. Probably took a ton of time and a ton of resources to put this together, and it's this blend of like all these different levels. Yeah, I come from the technology industry, and in the technology industry, we think about these levels in a similar kind of way. It's like a hardware stack, software stack, and firmware. And the companies that are the best control all layers of that stack. And so in the content game, it's kind of similar. For dentists, he's controlling all layers of that stack, and he has the best in every single layer there. And then, of course, the top one is like the kind of content, the themes. He focuses very heavily on showing real video, real pictures of his real patients, showing their real experience. They're giving the real testimonials. Like that's the most powerful thing. Is like the more that a patient can put themselves in, like imagine them being in your practice and having this amazing experience, the better that this stuff is going to convert. Of course, like creating content like this, like doing all the work to get a patient in, like have them be down to record and give a testimonial and tell their story, and like doing all this with a patient, like it's a lot of moving parts. You guys know it's really hard, which is why most dentists do this kind of thing where they kind of post their own kind of content, or create their own content, from the office and everything, but not directly with patients. So it's like limits these variables where like you have to do all this extra work to like work with data patient to be down to record a video with you like this, right? So think about that. There's totally different levels to this, like how much work is being put in from on this profile from Dr. Mohammed versus Dr. Patrick. And Dr. Patrick's doing a great job too. It's just like they're totally different focuses, right? They're totally different focuses. And so, but like I said, like he's positioned the top of the top, like the top of dental, and you'd be able to charge top of the top prices. So that's the next second thing is like the content level. So now you guys have been waiting for this part in the analytics, right? So this is this powerful analytics tool that we use. We use it for our own profile along with our clients' profiles to help make data driven decisions to help get them the best results possible and get that revenue up. But for Dr. Mohammed, you can see here, we have these different our metrics here. We can look at growth. His growth factors at like 5.22% over the past week, I think that is. But if we go, let's set these to all time and take a look at this. So you can see here that, right? So they've been working on this for a long time, right? A really long time, since 2019. But it really popped this summer of 2021. He literally went from 226.4K to 1.1 mil in a summer, right? So how is this possible? And you can see like there's all this engagement rate, average likes went way up, all this stuff, right? So what happened here for this to happen? Well, if you go look at his profile, I'll cut here because I'm going to scroll all the way down to where he made those kind of posts. Okay, so this post is from May 2021. I think this is from May, end of May. Then we get into June. So this is right where that pop happened, right? This was right in like May, June, July, actually, early July. So that's around this time, right? And you look at the quality of this posting. This is years before what we were just looking at. And if we look at the data, actually, like he's been pretty consistently posting at least once a week, right? Versus us, like 10 a week. He's been pretty much like once a week. So once a week for years and years and years. This is just like consistency compounds, right? I don't know if you've ever heard that in financial terms, like in your business, but also with content and social media, these laws definitely apply of compounding. So his stuff has been compounding, and he and his team have been investing. You can see from the gate. I mean, it's not as good. The quality isn't as good as the posts that he's been posting like recently, but it's still really good, right? It's real patients showing the final result. It's really, really professionally done. And he and his team has invested a ton of time and energy and money into making this really, really good for all these years, right? And so again, like look at all of this history of it. When you look back at these charts, right? Like all of this work, he and his team were investing all this time and effort into making it really quality content and really trying to grow it. And they were really trying to figure out, this was really like this testing period is what I say. So, The whole game is just like testing things and iterating, like seeing what works and what doesn't work, and then trying to make it just 1% better every single time that you post. And that's what they've been doing all through this. So they were making it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And all through this time, he and his team are getting all of this information about like, okay, these posts need to do best. This style obviously works best. They're looking at all these analytics, trying to tune this up. And you can see that it's a little bit different than what they started with, right? Like what they had before. Like things look a little bit different now, but it's still, you know, they figured out this formula about like what's going to work and what's not going to work for their account. And so once they realize that it's like, I think quality, really good video, engaging, and doing a lot of these kind of like smile makeover, like before and after pictures and videos with patients, they figured out that those work super well. Then they put ad money behind it. So right here, once they figured out, they probably had like a list of like, okay, these types of videos do really well. They made a ton of those videos, posted them right here, and put ad money behind them and boosted them out. And the way that the algorithm works is that once people start, so the ad spend will help like this get in front of more people, will help like these videos get in front of more people, right? But then when somebody sees it and they actually have a really good experience, which they will because there are no other people that are putting this much effort into a dental video on Instagram. Hardly any. It's like less than 1%. It's rare that they've seen something this cool. They're like, oh wow, this is awesome. They go to the profile and they see, that, so they follow this ad to the profile. They see that this guy has a lot of followers and all of his posts look like this. They're all super high quality photos. It's like, I love this. I want to follow, I want to stay in touch with this guy, right? Like that's the way that it works. And you can imagine that happening at scale, right? Like to all the people that ad is seeing, like the conversion rate is going to be good because again, the quality is really good at the ad. Anyways, I could talk about this all day, but I'm just saying that they basically figured out a formula. They put this trail of breadcrumbs of all this proof that this is the way they've always been posting. This is what they post. They're a luxury brand. They're a luxury dentist. They've always posted like this, and that they're going to continue to keep posting on this. That elicits somebody to go and follow his account, right? And be like, oh, he's one of the number one guys. I want to work with this guy, right? I want this guy to like see myself or somebody in my family. They want to be involved and connected with him. So that's kind of like the way that it works. It's like the psychological kind of side, and with the algorithm, how the algorithm kind of supports that, right? But again, so all this might not be the answer that you want to hear. I mean, those things about like being conscious about like how your brand is looking and setting that up and what kind of patient you're attracting and really trying to over deliver on really important, like I was saying. But that's the most important thing. It's like literally it's quality, it's consistency of posting, quality, and really understanding your audience and just doing the work, for years, 3 years, he and his team were investing and putting in this work. And then they had all this preparation and all this material and all this evidence. So like right here, they're probably like, we have a really good idea about what's going to work well, what people are going to like and what they're not going to like. So let's put some ads behind what people are going to like, what we think people are going to like. And that hypothesis hit hard because they had 3 years of data right here. So we say this at Prism, like success is where preparation and opportunity meet, right? 3 years of preparation and they had an opportunity, went for it, and they capitalized huge, right? So yeah, that's just a quick kind of breakdown of it. I hope that all made sense and that you're able to, extrapolate some lessons for that, like for your accounts. But if you have any specific questions, feel free to shoot me a message. You can shoot us a message on our Instagram. You can leave a comment and we'll get back to you for sure. So hope this helped and I'll see you in the next one.